What is up, everybody? Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. It is Tuesday, February 18th, and we had probably our most newsworthy edition of NXT in a while. And mind you, last week we had the debut of Ricky Saints. Well, technically he was still Ricky Starks in our minds last week, but now he's no longer Ricky Starks. We'll get to that in a second. And while that was super newsworthy last week, this show kind of had even a lot more because it had, of course, the inclusion of Jordynne Grace. It had Ricky Saints and had a lot on today, so we're gonna go ahead and get right to it. We had Moose. I mean, there was a lot that went down with it, but before we get into all of that, Chinedu, how are you? How are you doing, man?
I am doing great. I had to make sure I locked my door to make sure that NXT episode didn't follow me home because it was very chaotic, very aggressive, a little bit scary, man. But I loved it. I'm happy to be here. It's always a great night when reviewing NXT with the amazing Denise Salcedo, the homie, and the great DWO, man. Happy to be here.
Hell yeah, man. All right, let's get right to it, everybody. Let's get into this show. So I want to go ahead and kick things off with probably the biggest topic of the night, which was, oh dear, I don't even know. There was quite a few in here, but I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off with Ricky Starks, who is no longer Ricky Starks, by the way. He is now Ricky Saints. And it's going to take a while, Chindedu, for us to get used to that because, for such a long time, we've been calling him a certain name. And anytime any wrestler changes their name, it always takes an additional, period of time for us to get used to it, to get on board. Every time we hear like the initial name change, we all kind of have the similar reaction of ick, right? Because it's a change and people do not like change. I don't like change. But we had a lot here with Ricky, though. Not only did we get the official name change, but also he had a confrontation with Ethan Page and Wes Lee. So things got started pretty damn hot with Ricky. So it's looking like he's going to have a tag team match next week. It's going to be him and Javon Evans versus Ethan Page and Wes Lee. The whole thing with Wes Lee started all because Sarah decided she didn't want to finish doing her interview with Wes Lee, and instead she went off to interview Ricky Starks. And then the whole thing with Ethan Page and Ricky Starks all started because Ethan Page came out and confronted him, and we sensed a little bit of jealousy coming from Ethan, and Ricky kind of put him in a spot there, but eventually Ethan Page was run off by Javon Evans. So there's kind of a whole lot in there. Chin, start off with the name change. Let's start there, and then we'll work our way into the feuds.
Listen, I'll say this. I'm happy he's here in NXT. First and foremost, I'm happy he's here. Ricky Saints, it's okay. I think Ricky Saint with no S would probably have been better. Just Ricky Saint if we're gonna go this route. But I mean, it's cool. I mean, he's Creole. I believe it sounds a little bit better. Ricky Saint, not Ricky Saints. Like
Ricky
that's the
Saint.
team. Yeah,
Ricky Saint.
I, I think
I
Ricky
get what
Saint
you
probably would have
mean.
been a little better.
Yeah.
A little better, like the Saints. That's the football team, but I believe he's from New Orleans, correct? Isn't he from New
He is.
Orleans?
Yeah, he is.
So I mean, I understand the ties, but man, Ricky Starks is so much better, man. But I do get it. It's just okay. I'll get used to it. Give me, I'll get used to it. That's how I
3 months.
feel.
Give us at least 3 months to get used to it. I feel like that's a fair amount of time. And then let's see how we feel about it in 3 months once we've gotten used to saying his name out loud. So with that being said, it was funny too because when they zoomed into the actual contract, I don't have the best vision sometimes, especially on my right eye. That's the one where I struggle. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, it's Ricky Starks. And then I looked at it and I'm like, no, it's Ricky Saints. And I'm like, oh no. I was so confident, Chin. I was so confident that we were going to see him show up as Ricky Starks. Like, I wasn't expecting the name change. And I know we were all making jokes and whatnot, but I still wasn't expecting it.
I wasn't either. I thought I read Starks too. Oh, I got hype. I was like, yes. I was like, wait, hold on, wait.
Yeah, yes. Okay, I'm glad I wasn't the only one with that reaction because that was legitimately my reaction.
No, I was hyped. I thought, yes, they let him keep it because so far, there's been a track of people coming from AEW to WWE. They can keep their stuff, keep their name. But this was like, okay, this also let me know, this might be a little bit, let them know, hey, from now on, if you jumping over, the reins might be a little bit tight, going forward with this whole copyright gimmick thing, name stuff, whatever, though. But regardless, I'm happy he's here. I hope they will at least consider Ricky. Please consider Ricky Saint. Take the S off. Just please, Sean. Uncle Sean, are you listening? I know you. Sean, just please, Ricky Saint. I think that could work if we're gonna go this route. Ricky Saint. Let's see.
I don't care. To me, it doesn't make too much of a difference. Saints, whatever. I'll get used to it regardless. All right. With that being said, Ethan Page, Wesley. I kind of mentioned how those two things started brewing. What did you make of the back and forth between Ethan Page and Ricky Starks? Saints.
Oh,
This is going to happen a whole lot, by the way, guys. A whole freaking lot. If you hear me call Ricky Starks, just ignore it.
Because it's gonna take a while, guys. Like Ricky Saints. So when Ricky Saints had this conversation with Ethan Page, I was excited about it though because both these guys are good on the mic. They're familiar with each other. They're both from the same group of we came from that other place and now we're here. They played on it a little bit. I love the back and forth. I love the way Ricky Starks put him in his place because the way Ricky cuts promos, he cuts it with a little bit more like. There's a certain way he does it. It's like he hits. It's like it's a promo too, but it's almost like he hitting you with like a sting in the backyard too. Like he just roasting in front of everybody. Like it's like that too. It's like dang, like oh, like the way he just stinged him, like boom, boom. Talk about his jacket, boom, boom, boom. He just delivered it. Like it's so flawless. Only the way Ricky Saints can do it was very, very good. I love Ethan Page's retort. I love his perspective into this. This makes sense as to why they would have friction. I like it. It's something they can do. They could both go in the ring. I like it. We're already building up enemies for Ricky Saints between him and Wesley. I like it.
I was wondering if they were going to make any mentions of AEW or the fact that they both came from the same place, but they didn't mention any of that, which of course, WWE doesn't really do that. They've done it a couple of times, but they don't really go all in on that. And so part of me thought, like, of course, I'm always expecting those big ooh-ah jab moments, but this definitely, though, I think the big noticeable thing, because one of the things we're always talking about on the chat, on the watch along here on this post show is the men's division, right? We're constantly talking about how, there needs to be bigger stars and whatnot. When Ethan Page came in, instantly when he went out there and he cut that first promo and he had that first interaction with Ava, I remember thinking like, damn, man, like Ethan Page is so strong on the mic. And he really, really stood out in that way on NXT. Like he stood out like a lot stronger because of it. And hearing Ricky tonight, dude, I already knew this. We already knew this. If you'd seen his work on AEW, you knew that the guy can go. We talked about this. That's part of what his appeal is, that he can go on the mic. And not a lot of people, you have some people who are some of the best wrestlers, but they can't go out there and command that kind of attention, or they can't go out there and do those kinds of promos, right? And Ricky Starks already has that. He is the guy that can do this stuff. Like instantly when Ricky made his debut last week, the first thing that I told everybody was, if you've never seen Ricky, just know that this guy's good on promos and this guy has a lot of charisma, and that is going to take him very, very far. And so when he was out there tonight, I just started to think, damn, I've missed this. I've missed having this kind of flair on the show for the men. It was a real, real big piece of the puzzle that was missing. And now I feel like we're starting to fill it all in. And this show in particular was probably the strongest we've ever had for the men's division in a long time. Because for the longest time, when we would come out here, our primary topic, our primary focus were the women. And now we at least have a little meat on the bones to talk about the men. And so it really stood out to me how much we needed people like Ethan Page, how much we needed people like Ricky, and how much, and we knew this the second they made that NXT collaboration partnership announcement, we knew what that TNA partnership would do for the NXT division, which has had a whole shit ton of life, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But I'm excited that we are sort of starting this simultaneous feud with both Ethan Page and Wesley, because I see Wesley as the guy that he can sort of easily beat but still mean something on the show. Like his name is big enough, Chinedu, where he's not, the bottom of the barrel on NXT, right? But that the big prize is eventually this, one-on-one feud with him and Ethan Page. I think Ethan Page needed it, and I think it's the best way to have Ricky Starks kind of get started, because this Javon Evans Evans feud with Ethan Page. I've mentioned it before. It's not really for me. I love to see I love to see Javon Evans wrestle. I think he's very, very fun to watch. And I like Ethan Page's promos, but this storyline wasn't doing it for me because I had to suspend my disbelief a whole lot where I couldn't really buy this whole broken jaw bit. I couldn't buy the vignettes, Chin. Like, this just wasn't my story. Like, they didn't successfully win me over. And so I kind of wanted Ethan Page to just kind of not be done with it because I have a lot of respect for Javon, but I didn't want that to be his big thing, right? I didn't want that to be the big focus for him on NXT. And so to me, it's far more exciting to see him do something there with Ricky Starks.
I definitely agree. What was for sure missing from this men's division was a credible top babyface. We have that in Ricky Saints now because now we have a babyface that can elevate other up and coming heels. I mean, Ethan's established. He's a former champion though, but guys like Wesley and things like that to kind of further elevate them, give us new and fresh storylines, and kind of make us interested in their characters again. Like just like you said too, I really like this. The Javon Evans storyline, although I like his character same thing. It was kind of it wasn't the best to kind of get them over and things like that. It wasn't horrible though, but low key, man, kind of sucked because Cedric Alexander got he got released in that storyline, man. He was a part of that storyline a little bit. And I ain't gone. This god dog, man. But anyway, regardless, he'll be in the Hurt Syndicate soon anyway. But in terms of Javon, though, it kind of just let me know, although he has like a lot of talent, I feel there's still more development there, which isn't a bad thing. So this means he has so much upside on him that he can still be on TV and there's still much more to go in his development. But right now, pairing with Ricky Saints, someone who's great on the mic, a credible baby face to elevate all these things is very, very good. Great for business. Great for the men's division.
I love it. And when I was seeing like a lot more people like coming in to watch the NXT, be part of the NXT watch along. I was just talking about this on my watch along, but today's NXT watch along legitimately did more views and generated more conversation than yesterday's Raw watch along. Right?
Really?
Isn't that crazy? Yes.
Oh, snap. NXT. Look.
Yes,
Look
like the buzz, like Ricky Starks is being a needle mover here. It is generating interest, and people want to come in and see what the hell is going to happen.
Ooh, listen, if I'm Ricky Saints, I'm feeling real good right now because again, it's not about it's about the ratings and things like that. Right now, if you're a needle mover, they're gonna put you at the top. I'm sure Obafemi is gonna have a good little run though, but man, if he continues to do this though, they may have to go ahead and jumpstart him and put him in a feud with him right away and make him a top guy. Because if he's doing this to the ratings and things like that, that's what it's about.
Well, we'll
So
see the actual ratings once they come out. This is just my little things that I noticed based off of like social interactions and whatnot. But usually when I always look at that stuff, right? Like I gauge like numbers and viewers and what people are interested in because you click on what you're interested in, right? If not, then you're not interested. And this is just one where people cared. Like they wanted to see Ricky Starks. They wanted to see what was going to happen with his name. They wanted to see who his first feud was going to be. And I think they started it off in the best way. And he nailed the promo, man. The promo absolutely knocked it out of the park. If I'm a guy on NXT, bro, the first thing that I'm doing if I'm not solid on promos, the first thing I am doing is going to Ricky Starks and saying, damn, bro, give me some freaking pointers. Or I'm sitting down and I am watching what Ricky Starks does, and I try to take some of that to improve on myself because I feel like right now, one of the things that I was saying earlier about the women of NXT is that right now with all of these new people that we're seeing, right? Stephanie, Giulia, Jordynne, all of these new faces in the women's division, there are some women that are being sort of moved around and put in other positions, right? They're not necessarily in these prime spots. And one of the things that I was thinking about was how much harder it is to fight for that kind of a spot on NXT. If you want to be a top girl, a top woman on NXT, you really got to stand out. You got to connect with the crowd. You got to go above and beyond in your wrestling and your promo in all sorts of ways. Like good is not going to cut it anymore. Like you got to be beyond that because the competition just got tougher. And so for me, that's how I see it with the girls. I don't necessarily see it like that with the men, but it could get to that point, and I hope it gets to that point.
I agree. At this point, like you said too, if I'm some of the other guys on the roster, at this point, the lag time is now over. There is no more. Refactionary period. We'll see what happens though. No, they put in a top guy right now that's going to start moving that needle for the men's division. He's here. So if I'm a Ora Mensa, if I'm Alexis King, if I'm any of these guys, I'm like, oh man, I'm not knocking or nothing like that though, but they're on the roster, and I know you want to be a top guy. So if anything, this motivates me. Let me get my promos up. Let me get my in-ring together. Let me get all this stuff right, harder workouts, and get it together because this new men's division is shaping up. Even with like you said, along with the new signees and just with the partnership with TNA, the other guys I'm sure we'll get into later, they're here too, and that only makes it better.
Yep. All right, we got some super chats to get into. We got Jacob Tatum. Thank you so much, Jacob. He says, who do you think will dethrone Nathan Frazier and Axiom? And when they get called up, plus which brand would they benefit the most in? All right, so yes, by the way, love to see how much love Axiom and Nathan Frazier are getting. Like, people are recognizing that they are a unique and fun tag team because they're just going out there, man, and they're having a good time. We're seeing both of them do some extraordinary stuff with their bodies, move at extraordinary speeds, and that has gotten people like interested in them. I feel like right now, and I know everyone's going to be like, Denise hates tag teams. No, I do not hate tag teams. I think that the tag team divisions in WWE need a lot of work right now. I think that there are good tag teams, but they're not winning people over. And so, with that being said, Axiom and Nathan Frazier are winning people over. And so they are getting so much love and attention. And it's great to see because you don't often always see, NXT acts getting more love than your Raw or SmackDown acts. And so for me, I see this as an opportunity to be like, all right, we need to do more and try to replicate what we did with Axiom and Nathan Frazier and do more of that. And of course, come up with different varieties of ways to like replicate that. Of course, you can't copy and paste the exact same thing, but you can try to find different versions of that. And when they do go to the main roster, I mean, at this point, I would probably say SmackDown because SmackDown does have the stronger tag team division. If they went to SmackDown, I think at this point, they're just far more exciting than most of the teams there. So I feel like they would just like grab everybody's attention, be a lot more like they to me are a pretty marketable team because they're cool, right? They're just two cool dudes. Axiom looks cool. Nathan Frazier with the hair and moving off fast the way he does, they're gonna be the attention grabbers. And so I actually would love it if we got to see them on SmackDown sooner rather than later.
I definitely agree. I've struggled to keep them as separate wrestlers for so long because they're such a good tag team. I'll be like, no, but they're separate. They're originally were singles competitors, and I've been trying to keep them separate in my mind because eventually they're going to break up. But it's not looking that way. They're too good. I'd keep them together. Same thing you said too. SmackDown.
We got John Taylor here, who, thank you, by the way, Jacob. We got John Taylor who says, Chinedu, whatever you do, don't sing when the Saints go marching in. Denise would really hate it if you sang, oh, when the Saints go
Saints
marching in.
dreaming of
The
how I
Ricky Saints
want
thing,
to
just,
be in the
yes.
number.
That song's
Saints.
now stuck in everybody's head. We got Alexander here who says, when is the next so Houston Chinedu? Oh, the next show, Houston and Chinedu, your next show in Houston.
Oh, when is the next? That's so Houston Chindedu. I believe you're talking about if you mean the improv show. It is May 1st, Houston Improv. Tickets available at improvtexas.com. It's gonna be a great show. Tickets are already selling fast right now. Hopefully, it'll be sold out very soon. Also, other videos about Houston every day on my social media pages, man. Appreciate you, Alexander. Much love. H time, baby. You already know, man.
Thank you, Alexander.
Already.
All right. And Tunde Uwad takes us into our next big topic for the show. He says, my man Chinedu, what's up, bro? Hey, D. Are we seeing both Moose and Obafemi and WWE together next Royal Rumble? Or will they still keep him at TNA or Oba on NXT? All right. So there's a lot to get into here because the other really big topic of today's show is that we saw Moose come out and confront the the NXT champion, Oba Femi. Now, here's the thing. You, me, the chats, people on social media have been saying that we want to see this feud. When we were all sort of brainstorming, hey, what matches do you want to fantasy book between TNA and NXT? Everybody was thinking Moose and Oba Femi. And this is something that tells me, and I kind of already knew this, but I know that, the powers that be over at NXT, they're online, they're seeing what people are saying. They're very, very connected with what the fan base wants. And the fact that they went right to it, I wasn't expecting Moose tonight. I had seen Shawn Michaels' tweet right before the show, and he was saying to like expect something big. And I'm thinking, oh, I wonder if this has to do with Ricky Starks, right? I wasn't necessarily expecting it to be Moose coming out there and right away confronting Obafemi, especially because Obafemi, when we last saw him on Vengeance Day, the Austin Theory Grayson Waller match, fine, whatever, cool, but it didn't necessarily have people, leaping off of their seats, being so excited for that, right? It was just like a whatever type of match. We just wanted to see Obafemi retain. And then the big thing that happened after that was him being attacked by the mystery group. And so I thought that's what it was going to be all about. I thought Obafemi's whole focus was going to be this big new group, right? And so the fact that they brought Moose in, I thought, oh my God, that definitely felt like, all right, we're actually getting to something for Obafemi that is far more interesting than just, hey, we just saw him in Grayson Waller in Theory, and then and now he's going to be involved with this mystery group and that. No, we have somebody big for him, like literally, literally and figuratively.
I agree. I love this so much. We've been talking about it for so long. By the way, Tunde, my bro, we appreciate the super chat now. You're a great part of the channel. All you guys give super chats are a big part of the channel. You make so much happen behind the scenes, man. We greatly appreciate you, okay? But like you said, with a few, we've been talking about this for a long time, and I'm so happy to see it. Like Moose is like he's always been that person I've always wanted to see here. What if, especially with Obafemi, because like their promo styles are similar. Like they're not like the lengthy will go on a like lengthy promo like a CM Punk, though. They get straight to the point. This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm here. This is what's going to happen. Their promo was not very long. It didn't need to be. Very to the point. People have been saying this. This needs to happen. Let's do it.
They made eye contact. They said they want to match against each other, and then they both raised their respective titles up in the air. And then Moose is going to have a match next week on NXT. He's going to be defending his X Division Championship against Lexus King. So I take it Lexus King is about to lose. Then he did already get a win over a TNA guy with JDC, the former Fandango, last week. So I'm looking forward to that, and I love that we are starting to get. Remember, I had said a couple weeks ago, I'm like, all right, they announced this partnership. Come, let's press the gas pedal on this a little bit. We can sort of speed this up. Like the partnership announcement was weeks ago, and not much has really happened. And I feel like we're finally getting into that period where things are finally beginning to happen with this partnership. And so this was right here. We're all in on this, man. I'm really excited because I thought Moose did a really good job when he was a TNA champion, and now obviously as X Division champion. And it was funny because I kept seeing a lot of conversations on social media where people would talk about the best champions and things like that. And I felt like from what I had seen that Moose had been doing a good job, and he really wasn't part of those conversations. And I feel like a lot of that had to do with the fact that he was on TNA. But now with this partnership, it does really feel like this could be the game-changing thing for his career, to give people like Moose a bigger spotlight. And this is going to be exciting. I don't know when they're going to do the match. I'm wondering if they're going to do it at the MSG Theater show, which is Roadblock. I forgot what day in March. Or if they're going to be doing it all the way until NXT Stand and Deliver. I can't imagine that they would just blow it off on a random NXT. I mean, they could if they really want to, just pop some ratings and things like that. They could do that. But I would imagine that they would save it for a PLE. Do you have any expectations of Moose versus Obafemi? When you might want to see it? What you want to get out of it? Where are you at with this?
Roadblock I thought would be probably ideal, but I mean, Stand and Deliver will be great. I mean, it's not that far off. I think they could, if the storyline is well done well enough, it should happen. They give each other other matches and of that sort to kind of keep each other together, though, but not blow the fuse yet. That would be good to Stand and Deliver, though. I would want to see it there, though, because this has been like his like big superpower what if feud forever. So I know I wouldn't want to blow this on a random NXT either. I want to set it for the grand stage, and eventually, to answer Tune's question, I would probably see Moose over in NXT before I'd see Ola make a TNA appearance, in my opinion. But you never know.
Right,
They probably can cross over though.
it does
But
lean. I mean, the relationship leans a little bit more favorably towards NXT. Like all the really
yeah,
good stuff are happening on NXT. Like the TNA stuff, and they kind of send them maybe like the lower NXT people that get sent
yeah,
over to TNA. But hey, I mean, let's be real. It's not nobody is surprised by that. All
yeah,
right, we
at
got
all.
Ryan. Yeah, we got Ryan Adams here says, took me about a month to stop calling Gunther Walter. Oh, yeah, it takes a minute. I think for me, it's just repetition. Like, I got to keep practicing saying Ricky Saints, and then I'll get used to it. Because once you hear something enough, you just get like used to that. But it's gonna be a minute for sure. Thank you so much, Ryan. We got Brandon Rosen who says this new mystery faction is already giving me retribution vibes. See, no, not for me, not yet. I don't want that because if we get there, then we're not even like they just started. We got to give them a chance, guys. This is developmental. This is their time for them to like come out. If they're gonna make mistakes, sure, whatever. But no, hopefully no retribution vibes. As long as they're not going out there with silly names and freaking doing that weird little thing that they were doing where they were like shaking their bodies. I don't even know how to explain that. They just need to go out there and be impressive. And they were doing all of these attacks backstage on NXT, by the way. That was what we were basically seeing threaded to throughout the show. But no, I don't want to say retribution vibes because I want to give this new faction a chance. I really, really do. I think we need a nice, solid, strong, believable, likable faction on the show, and I want this to be it, hopefully, but we'll see. We
Oh
got
man,
thank you, Brandon. We got Heidi Ho here who says the NXT ladies killed it tonight as usual. NXT women are money. Do the hand thing, Denise. You know it. Women are money. I've been meaning to do like a little TikTok or something with it because I feel like I should promote it more, make it a
I
thing.
think you should because it's catchy, man. Women are the money, and they still are, regardless of this new influx of guys. The women are still running the show. So I mean,
I mean, they main evented tonight, and we'll get to that in a second, but yeah, they really
yeah,
are.
Heidi
All
Ho,
right, we got
appreciate you.
Sheldon Jackson. Thank you, Heidi Ho. We got Sheldon Jackson here who says Theme Moose show up tonight on NXT makes me wonder who is going to go up from NXT this Thursday on the live episode of Impact from Full Sail University. I thought originally that the match between Lexus King and Moose was going to happen on TNA. That's what I had originally thought. And when they announced it, I was like, oh, it's happening on NXT. Cool, cool. I don't know. I feel like lately, so who they've had several people, right? They had Nathan and Axiom go over there. They also had Tatum Paxley. She's been over there. Ariana Grace spend a lot of time over there. They've had
A
several of
lot.
those types of names go down there. So I don't know who from the guys might make their way over there right now. I feel like they could definitely have Lexus King over there. I feel like he would probably be like he would be a good option, I think, if they wanted to maybe do the match twice or something.
I agree. Appreciate you, Sheldon.
All right, we got Saeed Dun Super here who says Thorpe Stinker couldn't kill a fantastic NXT show. Everybody was laughing, Chan, during the watch along because my least two favorites, Andre Chase and Eddie Thorpe, had a match against each other. That was the only part of NXT I didn't like was Eddie Thorpe versus Andre Chase. Eddie Thorpe defeated him, and Sean Spears defeating Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Those were the two parts of the show where I was like, I don't really care about this. But even with those two matches that I didn't care about, it did not take away from the show today. How'd you feel about it?
I felt the same way. If you could tell, those are definitely the bathroom breaks. Like, respectfully, hey, I'm glad you guys are on TV, but it was, oh man, both of them out here. And then again, Andre Chase, to me, it's been too long. Like it has been too long with this character, Andre Chase. Something needs to happen. Where is Thea Hale? Is my real question. So
I don't know, but do you think they're bringing back Chase U? Because I kind
it's
of got the vibes that they were today. Those were the vibes I got.
It seems like it. It seems like I feel like gradually with each match Andre has, we're gonna see more and more red shirts in that crowd, and so I think we're gonna just have like that crowd shot of out of nowhere. Everyone's wearing a red shirt. We're back. We believe in you, Chase. And I'm hoping that's when Riley Osborne and Thea Hale come back in to turn on Andre Chase and cost him the match and turn heel.
All right, we got Christopher Marino here who says there's a lot of building to a TNA NXT event. Moose versus Oba and slowly Fraction versus the Hardys and Cora versus Masha. Yeah, that was something that we saw play out on the last TNA show that I covered. And then also with the Hardy Boys, they're looking like they're going to face the No Quarter Catch crew next week. That's been announced for next week's show. So you are going to be seeing the Hardys make a return. So that's definitely going to be fun for the
Crazy.
NXT audience to get to see that. It's so crazy, right, Chin? Like all of
Yes.
these people that either haven't been with the company for a bit or they were released or whatever it is, whoever's situation, whatever happened, all of a sudden they're finding themselves back in a situation where they probably didn't think they would. I mean, it's obviously different for the Hardys because they're such legends and they're sort of seen in a different light. But like even wrestlers that were other wrestlers that are not big names like that were released that are finding themselves back in WWE because of this partnership. It's kind of nuts.
Definitely nuts, but I know for some of them it has to feel really good though, man. You're able to like go to a WWE event, bangs are banging. I don't say about it, but bangs are banging. You know what I'm
They're
saying?
awful right now, and I move in the wrong direction, and it fucks it all up.
But they look great, not the bangs, the bangs. Oh 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 oh. Oh, do you know that song? It's a
No,
hilarious song.
I don't know
It's
that
very
song.
funny.
That's almost like, "Damn, I can't join in, sorry."
I'll tell you about it, but hilarious song though. But I was man, I lost my train of thought. Yes, but I know for some of them it has to be really a great feeling though to be able to go to have the WWE live event experience, go backstage, see old friends, and for some of them maybe not have to deal with the WWE rigmarole that they may have to have dealt with before. Get it, maybe this is the chance to do some one-offs here, see some old friends, have some fun though. So I feel it's a really good win. And again, that crowd is gonna go nuts for the Hardys. When they hear that music, that's gonna be pop of the night, I think, next week.
I think so too. Thank you so much, Christopher Marino. All right, and let me see where we are at with this. With that being said, we got to get into this other part of the show that led into the main event. But this whole thing started with Carmen Petrovic defeating Kalani Jordan and Jada Parker in a triple threat to become the new number one contender. This is great because we're going to see Kalani Jordan and Jada Parker move in, continue their own feud, and Carmen Petrovic gets the win, right? So she was kind of the one that we had sort of predicted would get the win here because Stephanie Vaquer needs to defeat somebody that has been featured on the show on a weekly basis, but can also still afford to take a loss to Stephanie Vaquer, and that is Carmen Petrovic, right? Now, the thing afterwards, though, is that Fatal Influence attacked Carmen Petrovic 3-on-1 afterwards, right? And her boyfriend, Sean TV Adonis, was just watching. Finally, he gets involved, but then he gets hit with a chair. So he's just there and gets thrown out. This was so. I started thinking, Chin. I was like, where is Stephanie? Maybe Stephanie should run out there and help her out. She's a baby face after all. This is a girl who's going to go on to come to defend she's just going to challenge for her title. Usually in situations like that, the champion, the babyface champion, wants to see the person that they're going to defend the title against be 100% so that it's a strong victory. So I was thinking, oh hey, Stephanie Vaquer is going to go out there, and then she didn't until like way later. And then by the time she went out there and she started to get her butt kicked by this group, all of a sudden Giulia goes out there. And I'm like, hey, had Stephanie and Giulia gone out there sooner, maybe Carmen Petrovic would have been getting beat 3-on-1. And then afterwards, Giulia and Stephanie started to get their ass kicked. So then Jordynne Grace comes out. And so this all turns into finally Jordan, Stephanie, and Giulia clean house, and they make a match for the end of the night. Fatal Influence versus Jordan, Giulia, and Steph. And this was hilarious to me because I just thought, damn, if I was Carmen Petrovic, I would be so pissed right now. Like, my boyfriend didn't help fend these women away. He could have scared them off. I'm not saying he has to put their hands on them, but just taunt them a little, scare them away. And secondly, she had no friends, no backup.
Listen, that's all Denise, all those things. First and foremost, I'm gonna say this before I get into it. I'm very upset that Jada Parker did not get a TV entrance. I don't understand what that was about. Didn't like it, but I understand. I'm glad her and Kalani are continuing the feud. They both looked amazing. I love Kalani with the old nasty curls, girl. I love
She
curls,
got them.
curls,
Yes,
curls,
she did. Yes, she did.
just curls, girl, curls. Loved them. But in terms of Carmen, if I'm Carmen, I'm so mad too. There's nobody like this girl, like literally no referees, no officials, nobody like it. I watch her get beat up during the picture break. I'm watching the commercials, like she's still getting beat up, y'all. This is still going on, and Ashanti just Man, what do what, bro? You could at least hover over the girl or something like that. No, not my baby. Something,
Anything. Distract
anything,
them. Hey, look over here. Something.
something. Freestyle rap. Do something, bro. You out here looking. I'll be so mad if I'm backstage. Like there is no way y'all going home together tonight, man. I'd have been mad. Okay, she got beat up 3-on-1, and then the afterbirth had nothing to do with her anyway. It led to a
No.
6-man tag that she was not a part of.
Yeah, she was kind of just she was just thrown to the side in this one. I feel so bad. But yeah, Carmen girl, she has a reason to be upset today. Like she should be the most angry out of anybody today. And that includes Robert Stone, who was attacked at the end of the show by the new group. So with that being said, we did get this main event with Jordynne Grace and Steph and Giulia versus Fatal Influence there. This was a fun match. But the big thing, though, of course, Jordynne Grace gets the win for her team. But the big thing that I noticed afterwards was the closing shot, Chin, because we had, Steph and Giulia holding up their championships, right? And Jordynne dead in the center, right? She's got no championship to hold up. She's standing there looking at both of them with their championship belts. And I love this because even though they're the top baby faces, that she hasn't necessarily said who she's coming for. Maybe she's coming for both. Who knows? But she hasn't necessarily emphasized it, but that's already twice. That's twice. NXT Vengeance Day, she confronted the both of them. And then this week she's standing there in between them, looking at both of their championships.
Yeah, listen, if I'm Giulia, after that show ended, I'm going backstage to Shawn Michaels. I'm like, hey, Shawn, can I see the creative plans for the next couple months? I just want to see what you got planned. Let me see. I just want to see what you got planned
Am I
because the
on
way,
them?
yes, am I on them? What's going on? Because the way they booked Jordynne Grace in this match, she looked phenomenal. I mean, she's always looked great, but tonight they made her the standout out of both champions, in my opinion. She did a lot of the heavy lifting and she got the pin.
The
And I
heavy
was,
lifting, the pin, she was the highlight. I mean, all
yeah.
of it. She was the star.
Yet she did all the promo work to set up the 6-woman tag. Like they didn't say anything. And it's like, and I again, just like, and again, she's on the mic. I'd be like, man, because eventually, like I see her getting one of those belts. In my mind, I see it being Julia's though, in my opinion, because I don't see them having her like waste time with North American women. I'm not saying it's a waste of time, but someone like her, they want her at the top immediately though. Like they didn't put Cody, they didn't bring Cody back and make him IC champion. No, we're going straight world. Although he had a little stop with the world tag team title, that's a little this different. But main world title. So same thing with Jordynne Grace. They want her elevated at the top. If I'm Giulia, I'm concerned though because I see her coming for it, and I see her getting that title much sooner than later. I do not see a lengthy run for Giulia, unfortunately, with that title.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of feeling that same way too. I've been feeling that way for a while now. I feel like the second when I realized that everything was still about Roxanne Perez heading into that Vengeance Day match, that's when I started going like, "Oh no, this is not looking good for Giulia." And then tonight, I mean, like it's not necessarily bad for Stephanie Vaquer because she's holding a totally different championship, right? So when you are the NXT Women's Championship, you're supposed to be the top dog, right? Like you're supposed to be the one, number one. It's all about you. And you're supposed to be just the focal point. And it wasn't Giulia, it was Jordynne Grace. And to me, again, that makes it worse for Giulia, not so much for Stephanie, again, because she has a totally different bout. She already has the number one contender. She's sort of part of this, but this whole thing with Jordynne and Giulia, that one I think we're probably gonna get to. They either got to heat up Giulia as an actual champion, make her feel stronger, make her get a little bit more interest there because there was a lot of interest when she came in and it kind of faded away. They need to get some of that back so that we can get interested in Giulia and Jordynne. If not, people are just going to be like, put the belt on Jordynne. We want to see Jordynne. Like that's what it feels like. But at the exact same time, remember when Roxanne was champion and people were like, put the belt on Giulia. We want to see Giulia. And now Giulia has the belt and we're like, we want to see Jordynne. It doesn't feel like we have patience, right? But at the same time, though, I remember thinking like, okay, with Roxanne, it was different because she was killing it as a champion. Now we need to see Giulia start to kill it as a champion. We need to get there. We need to see her defend this title one-on-one. We need to see her have more matches. We just need to see something there. You need to, I think the best way to win people over with Giulia is through her matches.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Her matches are definitely will be like her strongest point, especially on NXT television. She has phenomenal matches. At this point, like you said too, it needs to be a spark. Like right now, I feel Stephanie is on a different trajectory. They're feeding her opponents right now to build her up though. So she's not, I don't see her dropping that title anytime soon. Carmen ain't winning nothing next week. We all know this.
No, no, bless
But yeah,
her.
she ain't winning
It ain't
next week.
happening.
Nothing at
And
all.
I hope she confronts Ashanti the Adonis for this BS because bro, I would be super freaking pissed if I were her. Also
I
before
would.
we yeah, I think she needs to confront him for like not doing anything, but they probably won't. Zarya and Soruka, by the way, defeated Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Happy to see Zarya and Soruka get a win. Of course, they're this odd couple that doesn't really make too much sense, but they finally got this big win. I thought this was good, man. The performance was good. I love seeing Zarya and Soruka close out the show with like Soruka hitting her soul snatcher. That looked phenomenal. I mean, the F5 by Zarya, all of that. They're looking like a strong team, even though they still don't make sense as a tag team. But hey, whatever.
I definitely agree with you. It's definitely an odd couple. I'm just happy they're on TV. They're getting to show their stuff. People are still, keeping them in the fans' like eyes or in memories because again, out of sight, out of mind for some of these things. Like if you're off of TV for too long, people will forget about you though. So I'm happy they're getting their TV time. The Meta Girls are just phenomenal. I really feel it's only a matter of time before they're off of NXT too. I don't see them on NXT by the end of the year or really by the end of WrestleMania season. I'm hoping they're on the main roster already though, because they've already done everything they can do on that show though. But a great showing with Soruka, amazing soul snatcher. That move is just such a phenomenal move. I'm just happy for them, and hopefully they can continue to elevate in the tag team division and challenge for those titles though, because we need more women tag teams right now, and it gives us something to do on a very stacked division right now. So really good for them.
There's an option. We were talking about this on the watch along, an option to like bring back the NXT women's tag team titles. Like now would probably be the best time to do it. But then
Yeah.
again, I know the actual women's tag team titles, like they don't have too many opponents, but they don't send them over to NXT often enough. Often enough. They have gone before, but not enough to like try out some more of these teams or maybe have these teams go over there and have these matches with the champions. It's just weird because you got main roster talent and developmental talent. It just, I don't know, it kind of feels a little weird with that division. But all right, we got Jacob Tatum here who says Booker T, oh yeah, to Stephanie Vaquer, move soften. Yeah, it's so funny every time he does it. It's like first it was weird and now it's funny and now we just anticipate it.
Oh yeah, every time. Oh yeah. It's like, okay, Buck, you are
Insane.
Book.
Anthony Giuliano says Jordynne Grace will win the championship at Stand and Deliver. I think so too, Anthony. I think maybe even sooner. Who knows? I mean, I think they're going to want to wait for Stand and Deliver because that's the big pay-per-view. But depending on how we're going, I don't know how they can justify not having the championship on Jordan. That's where I'm at right now. Anthony Giuliano says, I'm trying to figure out with Thea Hale. Yeah, I miss her so much. I hope we get to see her on the show pretty damn soon. So hoping we get to see Thea Hale soon. Again, it's just there's so many spots that are already taken up with this women's division, man. Like there's only so many spots to fill. And I think it's more of a creative thing. That's what I'm assuming. But then again, I don't really know. So we'll find out soon what is happening with that. But ladies and gents, with that being said, that is our NXT post show for today. We covered all of the ground. I want to thank everybody who tuned into the watch along. If you tuned into the watch along and the review, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the continuous support. I am blown away at how much this show did better numbers than the Raw watch along. So, dang, whatever NXT is doing, it is working because it is piquing people's curiosities, which is a really, really good thing. With that being said, Chinedu, where can the people find you?
They can find me everywhere at Chinedu Ogu on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm about to, and you've inspired me to reinvest in my YouTube channel a lot. I think I've been at 15,000 for like 2 years though, because I do more Instagram, Facebook though. But you've inspired me to get back on this and do more videos specifically for YouTube in general though. So I'll be doing a lot more content on my YouTube page. I'm on tour right now. my age mate tour. I'm going all over Texas. I'll be coming all over Texas. Pause again. I'll be touring all over Texas and other parts of the country as well. My upcoming dates: February 28th is Fort Worth, Texas, at the Big Loud Comedy Club. May 1st at the Houston Improv in Houston, Texas. May 31st at the Upstage Comedy Lounge in San Antonio, Texas. July 26th in Cypress, Texas, at the Sci-Fi Visual Performing Arts Center. August 2nd at Roscoe's Comedy Club in Austin, Texas, and the rest of my dates will be available very soon cross country as well. You can watch my my recent comedy specials. Well, that's the one for improv right there as well. You can get ticket links at improvtexas.com. Watch my upcoming my 4 comedy specials are for free on my YouTube page, available right now. While I'm here, big shout out to the homie Roxanne Perez on her success. I'm very, very proud of that girl. This is not for Roxanne. This is the homie Carla, okay? Very proud of you. I was so happy to see two Texas girls, not only two Latinas, but 2 Texas girls in a match on Raw getting down. Homie Raquel from the Valley down here in RGV and Roxanne from Laredo out there holding it down. So I was very proud of that. Honored to be that. Maybe proud as a Texan. So happy for y'all. If you ever see this, man, toast to y'all. Wish you the very best, Roxanne, on the main roster. I don't want to see you on NXT no more, right? I miss you, but I want you to be on bigger and better things. If you ever see this, so that's why I'm happy you ain't on here no more. Go on the main roster and go be great, all right? Go and get out of here, all right? But love you very much, though. To all the DWO, please watch the videos from Denise. Thank you for the love on the streams. This girl streamed for 8 hours, y'all. Go over to that video and hit that like button on it. Give us some more support. Comment on it. All the super chats that you've given, we appreciate you guys. Record number super chats. You guys are phenomenal. We love you guys so much. You guys go a long way for all the stuff behind the scenes of the channel. Also, watch upcoming videos from her as well. Upcoming videos. All the content Denise posts every day. Okay. Overall, don't be a dick. Give it a click. Support the channel right now. All right. That's all I got.
Alrighty, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll be back here tomorrow, this Wednesday, for AEW Dynamite coverage. Thursday, Elimination Chamber trivia. Friday, we got SmackDown watch along and post show. Keep an eye out. Everything is up here, scheduled on the channel. YouTube.com. You're already here. If you are, make sure to click that subscribe button, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye, everyone.